Yo, welcome back to Just Add Seasoning. So, I am one of the fortunate few that managed to get my hands on some Nike SB Supremes last Thursday. Although I say that, I've got a confirmation email, I was charged, and then the charge sort of timed out on my credit card, and I've not yet had a shipping email, so I may or may not have a video for those coming up soonish. Nobody knows. I have got a video for my Jordan MA2s, which is already up actually. I received those a couple of weeks ago now. They're the Jordan MA2 Future Beginnings. Make sure you check that out on my channel. So let's jump into the upcoming tab for this week on Nike sneakers. To be honest, this week Nike really aren't bringing the heat, in my opinion. The first sneaker we got is the Air Max Tailwind Vs. They're doing these in midnight navy and white. White seems to be just an inverted version of the midnight navy. Mine's a little bit red by the looks of it. Yeah, they're okay looking sneakers. For me personally, I'd rather from that era go for a Tailwind 4. I think it's just a bit better looking because it hasn't got that weird sort of quilted material, but if you like them, I understand. Pick them up. The only thing I would say is that in the in-stock section on sneakers at the moment, we've got some Tailwind 5s in iron grey that came out on December 12th, 2020, so basically 3 months ago now. They still haven't fully sold out. They're sold out in most of the regular sizes, but it's the small sizes from UK 4 up to a UK 6 that aren't selling it. I mean, 3 months down the line and still not sold out of those. So if these don't sell out, I wouldn't be surprised at all. If you want them but you're not desperate for them, I'd consider holding back a little and seeing if they appear in Nike outlet stores or just on the Nike website in general over the next few months and years. Quick look at StockX. Air Max Tailwind 5. Now the white version isn't on StockX yet, possibly may not be at all. The Midnight Navy is. Looking at the bids, there's barely any bids at all. There's definitely nothing above retail, so considering they're just about to come out, I wouldn't recommend going for those. Let's move on and look at the next sneaker, which is the Space Hippie 01. So the Space Hippies, in my personal opinion, I like them, but I think they look to me like Nike's attempt to try and appeal to people who tried to copy Yeezy Boost 350s but just didn't manage it. And I would go for Yeezy Boost 350s over these any day because they're Yeezys. These are the ones made out of sort of recycled material, which I think is amazing, and I'd love to see Nike doing that in more shoes, but I'd love to see them do it in less obvious ways. Like these, I mean, they're literally, like the one colour is here is literally called This Is Trash. I'd love to see them use recycled materials in super subtle ways like we did with the Jordan 1 Zoom Comfort Crater. That was about as close as I've seen Nike get to using recycled stuff and making a normal looking sneaker that you wouldn't mind wearing out of the house without looking like some kind of eco-evangelist. Having a bit of a deeper look into the colours here, we've got, as I mentioned, the This Is Trash, and we've got the Black Vault. So here we go. Personally for me, the sole on the This Is Trash ones is a bit... It's not that it's too bright, it's because it's speckled with those bits of unmelted down plastic that I think it looks a bit cheap. Whereas on the black ones you don't notice it as much. To be fair, I like the top of the sneaker there. Yeah, the sole on these I don't like as much. Whereas the Black Bolt, I think you can get away with it a bit more because it is just black and you can't really tell the speckles as much. What I would say about these sneakers, again with the reference to the Yeezys, is if you look right in the middle of the sole, it's got those like jagged lines directly in the middle portion, and those lines really remind me of the Yeezy slides. If I'll get a picture of the Yeezy slides up on the screen, but the Yeezy slides are supposed to be super comfy because they got those jagged lines, and it looks like Nike have literally just ripped that off right in the middle of the sole, but not the rest of the sole. I would actually like to wear a pair of these just to see how comfy they are because they do look comfortable. But like I said, if I'm going to rock anything, I'm going to be spending my money on Yeezy Boost 350s. Let's have a quick look on StockX though. So by the looks of it, the Black Vault aren't on StockX yet. We've got the what are called here the Wolf Grey, but those are the ones on Nike sneakers are called This Is Trash. Apart from that, there's a few other Space Hippie 01s surrounding it, but they've all got the white sole with the white midsole and everything, which for me, with the recycled material actually looking like trash on the shoe itself, the ones with the white sole just look a bit like sort of old polystyrene that they've just sort of rammed onto the bottom of the shoe. So yeah, I'd like to see these more with a black sole and midsole. Let's have a look at the Wolf Grey. Wow. So once again, there's no real buyers for these. Especially, well, there's definitely no buyers above retail. There's one for US 12, which is for £113, but that's still, you'd make a loss, especially after the StockX fees. So I wouldn't recommend buying these if you're going for the flip. Looking at the other colorways, I've done some sort of research into these, and it's basically the same story for all the other colorways as well. So across the board, I'd say these aren't really worth it for the resale. I suppose most people are just like me. They look at the sort of knitted material on the top of the shoe, they look at the super bouncy soles, and they think, why wouldn't I just get a pair of Yeezy Boost 350s, even if they're from StockX, if you can't cop them on Easy Supply or Adidas. Dropping on the 12th of March, we've got the Air Huaraches in Scream Green. This is an OG colorway that they are bringing back. It says here the Huarache made its debut in 1991. From a personal standpoint, looking at these, if you compare them to the Huarache Stussy collab that they brought back a couple of weeks ago, I would rather go for those. I tend to like the earthy sort of tones at the moment on kicks, so yeah, I'd go for those over the Scream Greens, but I don't dislike the Scream Greens, and I could see, if you got the right style, I could see you pulling these off very easily and doing it very well. Thinking of the Huaraches from the Stussy collab, actually, those aren't selling that well on StockX, like especially after StockX fees. There's not really much money to be made on those, so I doubt that there'll be money to be made on these on StockX. Let's actually look at StockX now then. Cool, so we can see here this is the 2021 version and this is the 2014 version. It looks like over the last year or so, the 2014 ones have been selling between 127 and 153. So, like I say, not that much more than retail, and that is only 115 at the end of the day. So let's see what these are doing on the resale, the 2021 version. At time of recording, the high is a US 12 for £145. That's a UK 11. You take home 126, and that's the high, so really there's a very slim margin to be made on the instant sell there. The low offers are scattered around, anything from some of these offers are like £17. There's a lot of offers under retail, so as I mentioned, if you do like these for a personal, absolutely get them. If you think you can rock them for your style, awesome. But as far as the resale goes, nah, not for me. Huaraches in general don't have great resale. I mean, if the Stussy ones didn't resell that well, what Huaraches are going to resell well? Dropping on the same day as the Huaraches are Air Prestos. These are strange shoes because they don't come in regular sizes, they come in XXS to XL. So they say it's like a t-shirt for your feet, but you've then got to try and work out what your t-shirt foot size is, if that sort of makes sense. These don't really, for the most part, fit in with the sort of sneaker culture. If you want these because you're into running, then cool, but for me, the best Air Prestos I've ever seen were when Off-White did the collab with Nike for those Air Prestos. Those, I'd wear those every day of the week. Those look stunning. But these, yeah, it's a jazzy colorway, sure. Maybe I'd like to see it on different sneakers, but for the Prestos, I've looked, and the Crimson Siren Red Air Prestos aren't on StockX yet. But if we look and sort of sort from highest bid, you can see the Off-White's right at the top, where people are willing to pay a premium, obviously, for the Off-White Prestos. But then going down from there, you got they did some Presto mids, which seem to sell okay. And then after that, it's only the super special collabs that actually made any or super special colorways that actually made any money on the resale, and that's the highest bid. So there's not going to be resale on the Prestos. So yeah, unless trends dramatically change, I would only recommend picking these up for a personal or as a sports shoe, which I guess is what Nikes are meant to be used for. On the 16th, we've got the Air Tuned Max in dark charcoal. Let's have a quick flick through these. So these are actually shoes that first came out in 1999, and this is the first time they've actually relaunched them since then. These aren't really my sort of vibe. I tend to go more for the American looking sneakers, but I know a lot of people in the UK who would be more than happy rocking a pair of these. The fact that Nike have put them in a drawer suggests that they think there's going to be a fair amount of competition for them, so fair play to them for going for that. I guess it's because it's an OG silhouette that they're bringing back for the first time in, like 21, 22 years. What is interesting with this colorway is, if you look at it, it looks just like a Skepta collab that he did back in 2017 for the Air Max 97. Literally the exact same color scheme, but it was on the 97, and that collab was really popular. Let's have a quick look over on StockX. The Air Tuned Max isn't actually called the Dark Charcoal. What was it? Did I say Dark Charcoal? Yeah, Dark Charcoal. It isn't actually called the Dark Charcoal on StockX. Air Tuned Max is the Nike Air Tuned Max Celery. I guess the celery sort of refers to the like greeny color at the back of the heel. Because these are fairly new to the Nike sneakers upcoming tab, I think they just got added to it today, or today when I'm recording this. There isn't that many bids for them yet on StockX. Sort of half of the bids that are on there are below retail, which is obviously not what anyone wants, and the other half are just above. So as it stands, I don't think there's a great deal to be made on these, but I could well be proven wrong because there's enough time for people to get their instant sell bids in there. As far as the asks go, there's a lot of people asking a lot of money for these, so it may well be that I've got that wrong, and you know, there is going to be demand because people have put these high asks up, but a lot of the time people are going to put in high ask because they want to just make as much money as possible. It doesn't mean they're actually going to get the price they're asking for. If we have a quick look at Skepta's shoe on the Air Max 97, Skepta. Yes, it's the first one that comes up. You can see what I mean by this colour scheme. So Skepta's shoe has been selling in the price range of roughly 120 to 220 pounds, which, considering that is the actual Skepta shoe, it's not just a shoe that has a similar colour scheme to the Skepta shoe. It doesn't exactly fill me with confidence for the resale on this Air Tuned Max, which retails for 150. So yeah, if you're getting these to flip them, look locally, because I think this will be a popular shoe in the UK markets. I can't see it being that popular outside of the UK, because I think this style of shoe is very popular because there's a lot of people who used to wear it back in the day who might want the rework of it because they've either worn theirs out or they missed out the first time, or whatever it might be. Thanks very much for watching. See you later.